Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Chip McKay, who he and his wife, Carla, are trying to adopt internationally and are looking for the public's help in order to raise some funds to make this possible. They're going to be having a fundraiser actually in Bloomfield in October that we're going to tell you a little bit about. But first, let's talk a little bit about Chip and Carla,
sure,
and how this whole situation came about. You are looking to adopt a 15-month-old Korean boy, correct?
Yes, he's 15 months old now, and he's a little boy. He was born 7 weeks premature, but he seems to be healthy and reaching all of his benchmarks.
Super. So how did this come about? How did you first get involved in adopting, and then how did you end up with this little boy?
Okay, well, my wife and I have been married about 4 years, and we are members of the Bloomfield Baptist Church, and that's a church that really believes strongly in missions. And so we've had the opportunity over the last couple of years to go on international mission trips. And 2 years ago, our family went to Poland, and there my wife and her 2 children were able to work with orphans in an orphanage in Poland. And last year I had the chance to go on a trip to Malaysia, and I had the chance to work with orphans in the Indian orphanage there. And I got back from that trip, and my wife and I really realized it was on our heart that we were being led to adopt as well.
Okay. So how did you end up meeting this? Now, he has a Korean name, right? And the Korean name is?
His Korean name is Songmin Ji. He's a little 15-month-old boy. And how we ended up with him was when you decide you want to do an international adoption, you begin with a home study process where you're evaluated. Pretty much it's a thorough evaluation of your life, every aspect of it. And once that's finished, then the agency who completes that home study, they referred us to the agency who actually works overseas with the Korean authorities. And they were able to match us up with him. Now, his name, as I said in Korean, is Songmin Ji, but when he gets here, his name is going to be John Beckley G. McKay. We wanted to keep part of his Korean identity.
Okay. So now he's 15 months old now.
Yeah.
Yes. You have seen pictures and video, but you haven't actually been able to go and meet him yet in Korea, correct?
That's correct. When we received the referral for G, they sent us multiple photographs and a lot of video with him playing with his foster family in Korea. So we've been told to anticipate the travel to Korea between 4 to 6 months to meet him.
Okay, super. Mm-hmm. So as we said, the McKays are trying to raise the funds needed to complete the adoption. How expensive is this whole procedure?
Well, unfortunately, international adoption is a very expensive proposition, especially with the fees that are paid to overseas agencies and to the host countries. It's a lot more expensive than pursuing any type of domestic adoption. So for some countries, you're looking at upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 to complete an adoption.
Wow. Okay. So when do you hope to have the adoption completed?
As I said, we've been told to expect to travel to Korea within 4 to 6 months, and we have to make 2 trips. The first trip, my wife and I will go, and we will actually meet the baby, and then we will go to court in Korea to tell the judge we want to adopt him. Then we're required to come back home for about a 3-week period, and once the adoption is finalized there in Korea, then we'll be allowed to come back on the second trip to pick the baby up and bring him home.
Okay, super. So he should be about 2 when the whole procedure is ending, right?
Right. We think somewhere between 20 months and 2 years old. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you're doing a fundraiser. It's going to be a 5K walk run, and it's going to be in Bloomfield. Tell us when it's going to be, what's going to be involved with it.
Okay, we are hosting what's called the Bridge to Adoption 5K. It's a run or a walk if you're not a runner, and it is located in Bloomfield. It's on October 18th. That's a Saturday. We're going to do it at 5 o'clock p.m. A lot of 5Ks are in the morning, but we're having ours in the evening. And really, we're going to begin and end the race at the Bloomfield City Park.
Okay.
And also, we're going to have the Scarecrow, the band there after the race, and some food and some fall festival type activities for families. We also have a DJ, DJ G Money, who is going to be there playing music before and after the race as well. So we're really looking to have a really good time there.
That's great. Now, how can people sign up for this, or can they just sign up that day?
There is registration that day in the afternoon before the race, but it's a lot easier if you want to register beforehand to do pre-registration. You can go to active.com. It's a website that gives you information and links to a lot of different races in the area. You can search for the Bridge to Adoption 5K on active.com and sign up there. We also have paper sign-up forms available. If you go to Facebook under Bloomfield Run, it's our Facebook page for the race. And if you just leave us a message there, we'll be glad to send you paper registration forms. It's $25 for adults, and for children older than 11. And for younger than 11, it's $5.
Okay. And as we said, this is a fundraiser to help fund the international adoption that the McKays are trying to complete, hopefully in the next few months. So, how long will the whole process have been? We're looking to end it hopefully in the next 4 to 6 months. How long? When did you get started with this?
We got started. I got back from Malaysia in early November of last year, and we started our initial contact with the Home Study Agency in December of last year. And so it's been less than a year so far. I think it's a little unusually quick. I think a lot of other couples may have had longer experiences, but we've been very blessed to have things run quickly and smoothly so far.
Okay, great. And if there's anybody out there who's interested in adoption or more, do you know of any agencies locally that could help in that regard? Or did you go to any local agencies?
Our agency that we began with is called Adoption Assistance, and they have an office in Danville and an office in Middletown and Louisville. They've been fantastic to work with. There are other agencies out there as well. And part of the reason why we're doing this is not only for our own adoption, but we want to encourage other people who may be thinking about or even considering adoption. We want to really encourage them to go through with that and be a resource for them, to be available to talk to anyone who's even considering it. But if you just get on the internet and search for adoption agencies, there's a lot of them out there, and really you can just go through and talk to different people and find the one that you're the most comfortable with.
Okay, great. Again, I'm talking with Chip McKay, who he and his wife Carla are looking to adopt a 15-month-old Korean boy, hopefully in the next few months. We're looking for your help. There's going to be a fundraiser. It's going to be October the 18th at 5 p.m. It's going to be in Bloomfield. And again, one more time, the Facebook page to go to is Bloomfield Run.
Bloomfield Run on Facebook, or you can search for Bridge to Adoption 5K on active.com.
Bridge to Adoption 5K on active.com. Do you have a phone number that people can call if they have any questions for you regarding any of this that we just talked about here today?
Yes, you can call me at 502-348-1111, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. If I'm not there, I'll return your call as soon as I possibly can.
Well, super. Thank you very much. Again, I'm talking with Chip McKay. Come on out October 18th in Bloomfield for their 5K run for the Bridge to Adoption. This has been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.